Welcome back to another episode of, or edition of, The Moral of the Story. I'm Tom Lovett with your story. Again, it's where I tell you a story. You get to listen to the story and then come up with the moral of the story. So let's get started. First things first, quote, "The only time thinking hurts is when you don't do it." Now, the story is told of a young man who wanted very desperately to work for SeaWorld. It was his dream. He had tried and tried to get an interview, but was unsuccessful for a long period of time. Finally, the day came when he got through, and he was able to get an interview with someone at SeaWorld. That young man went to the interview realizing that this was his opportunity. This is what he had been waiting for. So he prepared himself. The interview took place, and the young lady asked questions. And the man answered the question to the best of his ability. And as the interview progressed, he thought he had a great chance of landing that job because he was doing, in his opinion, a great job in the interview. He was doing very well. Things were going smoothly. And at the end of that interview, he thanked the interviewer and he left, waiting for the call back. And he waited. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, no one called. So he decided to call back to find out what had happened. Find out if they had made a decision. So he called and called and called and couldn't get through to the person who could give him an answer. Finally, the secretary says to the woman who interviewed him, "You may as well talk to this man because he is not letting up. He keeps calling, wanting to know what happened. He's inquiring about the interview he had with you." And so the lady says, "Put him through." She finally put the man through to the interviewer. And the man got on the phone and says, "My name is, do you remember me?" And the interviewer says, "Yes, sir, I do remember you." And the man says, "I'm calling to inquire about that interview. I want to know whether or not the job is still available, whether you've made a decision." She says, "Sir, we made a decision and we've hired somebody for that position." And the man says, "You've already hired somebody?" She said, "Yes, sir." And he says, "Can you tell me what went wrong? I thought I did a pretty good job in the interview. I thought my interview went well. Can you tell me what didn't go well? Where did I miss the boat?" And the interviewer said to him, "Sir, do you realize that in my interview that you used the F word more than once?" And the man said, "Did I really?" And the moral of the story is, till the next time, and to be continued.